Hi everyone, my name is Megan and I'm here to give a presentation on the novel You, written by Caroline Kepnes. Before we get started, here's a quick summary of the story in regards to the beginning chapters. Readers are immediately provided insight into the unsettling and disturbing thoughts that are fuming inside the character titled Joe's mind. His strange obsession with You, who's also known as Genevieve, who goes by the name Beck, frames the entire duration of the story as readers are given the inside tour of his compulsion towards her and the horrific acts taking place in result to this obsession. I will be looking at specifically how it is extremely problematic for Joe to justify all of his actions by convincing himself that everyone around him has something wrong with them. First example I'll be looking at is at the beginning of chapter 2, when Kepnes writes, "The trouble with society is that if the average person knew about us, you, alone, orgasming 3 times a night, and me across the street watching you orgasm alone, most people would say I'm the fuck up. Well, it's no secret that most people are fucking idiots." The irony in this statement lies directly in the message he is stating that most people are fucking idiots, when in reality, we should be questioning his disturbing decision to watch Beck through her window. However, he claims that if other people are concerned with his decisions to disturbingly stalk Beck pleasuring herself, that is why society is troubling and messed up. This moment was my first realization of the ironic and concerning approach Kepnes had while developing this piece. In fact, after this first encounter, the duration of the novel was seemingly ruined for me, as I was continuously questioning this ironic trait that Joe holds. The second example that I will be looking at is in regards to Joe being able to see the facades of other individuals, specifically Beck's, but not being able to see his own. For example, he's able to recognize Beck to be a whore who has no standards, yet he's looking up her address on the internet and stalking her at her own home. This comes from the passage, "Is your Twitter bio your subtle way of announcing that you're an attention whore who has no standards and will give audience to any poor schmuck who says hello?" In regards to Beck's facade, Joe is realizing that Beck isn't all that she represented herself to be, and rather she is giving him insight into who she truly is through her Twitter account and her indirect tweets that don't include Joe within them. However, what is ironic is that Joe can't see his own facades and what he is hiding, the intense horrific stalking. We can also see this through the passage, "I am not holding it against you that in that old bulky laptop computer of yours you write about every fucking thing in the world except me. I'm no idiot, Beck. I know how to search a hard drive, and I know I'm not in there." Here, we see him masking his behaviors by claiming that Beck is ridiculous for not writing about him and not having any detailed information regarding their encounter at the bookshop. Yet what is actually ridiculous is the fact that Joe doesn't recognize this. I continuously question why Joe is so extremely absent-minded to the reality that he believes Beck to be the idiot when he is the one hacking her computer's hard drive to find out what she thinks of him. How can he be as genius to call the gas company to report a leak in her apartment when he knew she would be at her class, yet he does not recognize that what he's doing is complete insanity, and that all he does is complete insanity? Does he know this? I wonder how this story would differ if he made it clear that he knew how ridiculous he sounded. Let's move on to our third and final point. I will be looking at today in the moment Joe blames Beck for injuring him when he fell out of her window so she wouldn't see him when he was trying to see her. In other words, Joe has the audacity to mask once again his horrific actions by expressing to readers that Beck's at fault for hurting his back when he was breaking into her home. As a whole, we can see clearly from these three pieces of evidence that Joe is masking his behaviors, those that are incredibly disturbing and horrific, by expressing to readers that the society and others around him, specifically Beck, are what is wrong. This self-righteous behavior frames the entire story. For myself, this allowed me to fume with frustration. It is interesting to me that Joe is so good at reading other individuals and finding out the inside information about them, yet he can't recognize his own facades. I leave you with this information, and I hope that you consider how Joe's horrific actions and ways of expression allowed you to analyze his inability to recognize his own facades, and how this possibly changed or affected your opinion on the novel so far. Thank you for watching.